guys, and welcome to this week's episode of Stream Squad. If this is your first time tuning in, I'm Angela.
And I'm Dan.
And we've got a very informative broadcast for you guys today.
Yeah, a lot has changed in the past week.
A lot of late breaking news.
You want to hop right into it? How was your weekend? How was your last week, I guess I should say?
It was very relaxing. So last week on the show, we mentioned how cold it was. This weekend, we got the snow. So I think this is about the fourth day straight of snow, 2 winter storm warnings. So
I was about 10 minutes late getting in this morning because I made the mistake of parking in my driveway.
No.
And I was covered in ice, so I had to put all like the boards and stuff down.
Yeah.
Thought about pulling out the camera and start streaming or something. I didn't, but
Dan's secret stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. I decided to play it safe, just spend time with cats and video games all weekend. So it's the way to do it.
That is one way to do it for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's hop right into it because I know, just sitting down here, getting ready to start, we're like, should we talk about this too? Because this just came out and it's important stuff. So I'll let you go ahead and take it away and we'll hop right on into our industry news.
Sure. So for industry news, the two big video giants, Facebook and YouTube, have both announced new changes. Facebook within the past week and YouTube within the past 24 hours. So we'll get started with Facebook. Now, we've discussed numerous times on Stream Squad Facebook's algorithm. They're constantly changing their algorithm to make Facebook as a whole bigger and better for everyone, and they have announced the changes for their algorithm for 2018. So what they've noticed is a lot of people were just scrolling through their newsfeed and skipping over a lot of content. They noticed that a lot of random photos and videos and business posts were dominating people's news feeds, and they weren't getting a lot from their friends and family. So what Facebook is doing is they're going to put the focus back on posts that you care about, as they worded, from friends and family. So you're going to see a lot of those in the news feed. The people who you interact with the most, you're going to see most of their posts, and they're going to kind of put, the businesses and partners and companies on the back burner, so you're going to see less and less of those content. They're also going to reduce the rates that links, photos, and video are going to be shown. Now, just some statistics that they also put out. They did a survey at the end of 2017 that showed that only 11% of Facebook users said they were extremely satisfied with the service as a whole. That was down from 15% in 2016 when they did that survey. And a lot of them said it was because they felt their newsfeed was cluttered with a lot of stuff they were scrolling through. So that is a part of why this is occurring. Now, for those of you guys doing live video is still going to remain prioritized. So whether you're an individual or you've got a business page or a group or anything like that, your live videos are still going to be top of the feed along with the family and friends content. But for your other, kind of organic posts that you might make about a sale for your business or something like that, that's going to kind of take the back burner, and as people keep scrolling, they might eventually get to it, but it's not going to be top priority any longer.
Yeah, I can see that being a problem people have, and I've thought that too. Sometimes you go through and you are scrolling through and it's just a bunch of clutter, junk you don't really care about. I do like that they're still kind of focusing on live video. I think that is a really neat and good way to engage people and a different way to tell your story, as opposed to some pre-recorded or just a text post or something. So I'm happy to see that is still kind of being a focus for them.
The way I saw, one of the articles we found, and we'll share all of this, in the description and the comments as well, but one of the articles had a quote from Mark Zuckerberg, and he said the reason he's doing that for live video is because they're focusing on content people want to see. They want content that people are willing to engage with, and they feel like a lot of businesses have kind of just been, pushing out lower quality quick video just to get to the top of the news feed, whereas with live video, it's encouraged to have people engage with you. You're actually sitting down and doing something and being able to interact with your friends or your family or your customers. So for that reason, that's why he's still going to make live video that top priority.
Right.
But then after that, you know, it's going to go to personal and then business.
I mean, you care about your friends and family first
Yeah.
and foremost, right? That's why I signed up for Facebook. I remember signing a petition to get it to show up at the university I went to back in, I guess, 2005 or something. And that's back when it was just for college students, which
Yeah.
makes it kind of fun going back now and seeing like the history. You know, they have like the 10 years ago today or whatever, posts like that. It's funny, you just see like someone just post on your wall, and that was what it was.
That's
so.
it.
Yeah, very different. YouTube, on the other hand, has some other big-time changes.
This is breaking news from the past 24 hours. YouTube tweeted out on their YT Creators Twitter page. I've seen it all over Twitter and Facebook today, and it's mainly impacting smaller or newer creators. So YouTube has also done a lot of changes to their partnership program over the years. I remember there being constant updates of what you had to do to be a YouTube partner. It used to be extremely hard, then it became extremely easy, and they're kind of amping the difficulty back up. The reason they've done this is they've seen people, you know, basically abusing the privilege, where there are spammers that are uploading things or people stealing content, uploading things. And the problem is, if you can monetize your video as a partner right away, even before you get caught, you've made that money off the ads. So what YouTube is doing now is they're implementing, starting yesterday, for anyone that does not have a combination of at least 1,000 subscribers and at least 4,000 total minutes viewed on their channel within the past 12 months, monetization is no longer available to those creators. Now, once they hit both requirements, once they hit 1,000 subscribers and they have at least 4,000 total minutes viewed on all the videos from the past year on their channel, they will automatically be eligible to start monetizing again. If they were to fall beyond those thresholds, it's going to go away once again. Now, for channels that are already partners, they're already monetized, but they don't meet their requirements, there is about a 1-month grace period. Starting on February 20th, those creators will also be impacted. So anyone watching who, you know, might be at 900 subscribers, or maybe they make primarily short videos and they've got 3,000 watched video views, your monetization is going to go away on February 20th, but just like everyone else, once you are able to hit those thresholds, you're going to automatically get it back. So this, you know, YouTube is mainly doing this. They're trying to make sure to keep those spammers and imposters away, make sure that the creators that are really working hard and producing that content are the ones getting rewards from Google AdSense. And also with kind of, you know, the wonky 2017 adpocalypse, people were kind of calling it, they're trying to figure out a way to make sure people are rewarded for a job well done. And this will keep those funds from going to, you know, someone who uploads spam videos or steals content, and not from someone who actually worked to make the video.
Yeah, something you said there that I hadn't thought of before when I saw this come out was you were talking about the people who make short videos. It's, you know, you might be getting a ton of views, but if you're not getting a ton of views, or even if you are getting a ton of views, that's just not a ton of time.
Yeah.
And if it's going off time instead, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it?
For me, I kind of see both ways. There are a lot of, you know, creators that I think are right on that line where if they're serious about YouTube, if they're dedicated to YouTube, they can probably make this work within a short period of time if they're not there already. At the same respect, there are two creators that I've been subscribed to for years, and they are notorious for doing 1 to 2 minute comedy videos where, you know, they'll just kind of do almost a comedy rant. They tour the country and do comedy shows, but, you know, they're a creator where they're amazing. They've both got 1 million views, but their videos are only 2 minutes long. There's no way they're going to reach that very easily. So even someone like them could potentially be impacted even though they're doing what they're going to do. So, you know, especially if you're a creator on YouTube, there's been a lot of back and forth all day long on pretty much any social media platform. I'm sure YouTube's seeing this reaction. You know, I know last year when they made some changes in 2017, within about a month they had tweaked it a little bit to make it a little more user-friendly.
Yeah.
So I would expect an update probably within the few months. They might come out with some more information, but for now this is kind of what they're giving us.
It's one of those things. It's a tough situation.
Yeah.
I can see both sides of it, where you don't want to punish everybody, but YouTube's so big, and there's so many people on there that it's tough to keep everyone happy. But at the same time, you don't want to, like, if it's a small creator trying to get a start or something and they're not seeing the growth or whatever, or even people who have been doing it and they get dropped. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I see Carlos in the comments even says he got dropped from it. So
oh no.
hopefully they figure it out and are able to fix it so people who are doing the right things can still get the monetization.
Yeah, exactly. One thing on a slightly higher note, also from YouTube, this was announced a few days ago, they are making updates to their app. Now, this update is not out just yet, but it has been announced, so definitely keep an eye out in the App Store and the Google Play Store for when this comes out. They are going to be implementing a dark mode setting finally for the YouTube app. So for those of you who like using dark mode on the website or who just like it for your apps in general, there will be a dark mode setting. They have not announced it, but it is in their coding that they're working on an incognito setting as well. And what that means is you'll be able to watch videos without it showing up in your view history. So that way, you know, if you kind of keep your history a certain way and you're looking up a bunch of tutorials in rapid succession, you can do that without it loading down your history with all of those videos. So kind of a lighter note from YouTube.
Yeah.
That's going to be
I think that's also
soon.
good too for if you share an account with either a roommate or a spouse or something, and you're Googling something for a present or something, and or YouTubing like what's the best this, that, or something else. They won't be able to look in the history like, oh, I'm getting that
what's
for
happening.
So, yeah, slightly better. Better news than a bunch of people getting dropped from making money on YouTube. But, I mean, what can you do? Hopefully, like you said, YouTube kind of tweaked things in the first couple months after the last time. So hopefully they can again, kind of try and figure some stuff out and make it right.
Yeah, and of course, you know, every week on Industry News, we always have something new about Facebook, and most weeks we have something new about YouTube as well. So we'll definitely keep you guys up to date as more information comes out about the Facebook algorithm and the new YouTube partnership program and any other changes that come with any other platform.
Yes. All right. I think it's time to start switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Move over. I've seen a couple good questions come through, and I think it kind of ties into some of the stuff we're talking about. So, yeah, we'll get to some of those here in a little bit. But let's go ahead and hop right on into our next section.
Sure. So we're going to go into strategy, and today's strategy piece is going to be what should you do for breaks with live video. Now, if you guys are doing, you know, kind of a shorter live video session, 15-20 minutes, this might not apply to you, but for those of you who are going for over 30 minutes, especially those going for an hour or 2 hours, or for a kind of sporting event, a lot of times it comes into play, what do you do if you need a live break? And a lot of times it's not really discussed until it's an emergency and you need a live break right then. So there's just kind of a few tips that we have that make it easier to implement that live break, similar to how we've been discussing, you know, good tips for intros and outros and stuff the past few weeks. So the first thing to do is to try to plan for your live videos. Of course, I mean the breaks in your live videos. So of course, an emergency can happen where you have to step away from the camera for a minute or so, but in general, it would be good to plan out in advance when those breaks will be, and even announce it to your audience if you can. I know, you know, we have the different overlays, and we'll get into overlays in a minute, for our segments, but maybe even put on there there'll be a break between this segment and this segment, or if it's a musical performance between this song and this song, or this artist and this artist. And that way your audience can plan for when your breaks are as well. It also keeps you on track so you know when you can take that break instead of just trying to throw it in randomly. Another thing we recommend, as we just mentioned, are the overlays. So if you can communicate this on an overlay from the beginning, that's great because it helps your audience know what to do. But what a lot of people might not realize is you can actually do a full screen overlay and just put, something like "we'll be right back" up on the screen. That way you still got your set in the background. People know you didn't just cut off the stream or disappear. It's letting them know that you'll be right back in action.
Yeah, I actually have an example of this if I can kind of butt in here a little bit. First off, if you're used to using Switcher Studio and you're used to putting graphics and whatnot, if you go into the full screen graphics, there's actually options in there that you can use pre-recorded ones that we've made or pre-made ones that we've done. So it says like broadcast will begin soon, stay tuned, and broadcast is ended. So there's some of that stuff available in there, and you can go in there and tweak it how you want. But I'm going to get rid of some of these other overlays here that we have. But when we were out at VidCon this year, we had a lot of different guests. So we had a lot of breaks that we had to plan for. And instead of going to a full screen graphic where people might not know exactly when you're going to be coming back and when you're going to be, like how long it's going to take, what we did was we had a wide shot, had the full set, even more than this. So it had all the cameras and everything. And we put this graphic over it right there. So we had our sponsors, LiveView was helping us do it, and then we had the stay tuned right there. And everybody could still watch, and they're watching us, mic up our next guest. They're watching the process happen, so they know that we're almost ready to come back. So that was a good way to do that. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. And that's something that's pretty easy to do in most, graphic editing softwares. And then, as Dan said, just bring it into Switcher Studio or any program that you're using and put it up when you're on your break. Another thing that we've seen people do is use pre-recorded video for their breaks. Some people, similar to their intro, will have a countdown clock where it'll say we'll be back shortly, but it's showing it's a 2-minute break or a 3-minute break or a 1-minute break. So people know exactly how much time they have to do what they have to do before your show starts back up. And some people will almost have, kind of their own little commercials or something like that, where if we had a 3-hour show, we might put kind of a little teaser for Switcher Studio in the middle of it to show what we do. Or if they have a special guest, they might have a 30-second promo for their guest that they put in. So kind of adding their own little commercial, and that can suffice as a break as well, while still keeping the audience entertained and having it be something that is, appropriate and related to your topic. And of course, if you do meet Facebook's requirements for video ads, which is 2,000 likes on your page, and you have to have a certain number of people watching, you can also put those in. Those are much smaller break times, usually about 10 to 15 seconds. But if you need to just grab a drink of water or something, that's also a great way to do it using tools that Facebook has given you.
Yeah, going along with a pre-recorded video, you can also do, if you've been here from the start or seen a Stream Squad before, you'll know our intro video has that 30-second countdown. You can even do like a 5-minute countdown or something if you have it planned out for those exact times where it's like, I know it's going to be 5 minutes, that's how long of a break we're taking, and you do that so then people know exactly how long it's going to be before you come back. Yeah, so I think those are some good things. I know I saw a question. Our idea came from something we saw in the user group. So I guess we kind of have a double user group thing here this week. But I know you had some cool stuff to talk about for our next segment, the user groups.
Yeah, so just to kind of let you guys know what it is, especially if it's your first time tuning in, we do have a user group on Facebook. It's called Switcher Studio Enthusiasts, and you can either search Switcher Studio Enthusiasts to join. You can also click on groups from the menu on our Facebook page to join. And if you are a Switcher Studio member, log in at switcherstudio.com and you'll be able to click on join the community. Whichever way you take take. There'll be a short little survey to fill out. It just lets us know more about how you're using Switcher or what you want to see from Switcher Studio, and then we'll let you into the group. We're almost at 1,600 members, so it's still growing very quickly. We're happy about that. And there's all kinds of tips and tricks and questions and great people willing to help out. But what we like to do each week is take a question that kind of stuck out to us.
Before we get into that, sorry, someone had a really great question that ties into our last one that I was talking a little bit about Switcher Studio as well. But Andy just wanted to confirm that audio plays from the pre-recorded video and the video has to be on the iPad and photos. Yes, that's right. So you will be able to import the video into Switcher Studio, and you can play it in here. As long as it's on the iPad, you can do it, so you can bring it in through the camera roll, or you can do Google Drive or Dropbox as well. We have documentation all over our website on how to do that if you need some help. Or you could do screen sharing if you wanted to just do something from the computer. Now, you're not going to get audio with that. You're just going to get the video. But if you want to do audio with your video, you'd want to put it into your main switching iPad. Back to our previously recorded or planned content, Angela, our user group questions.
Yeah, so that was a great question as well. That's another one that we've seen come up. But one thing that we did want to bring up this week is setting up RTMP. So if you guys aren't exactly sure what that is, the way that streaming providers like Switcher Studio work is you put in what's called RTMP values, which are normally a stream key and a server URL. Now, your big streaming platforms like Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, YouNow, Periscope, any of those, they will provide you with your RTMP information. You're then able to put that into Switcher Studio, and that lets us know where to send your feed to. It's basically the address for your platform's page. Now, this is why sometimes there are platforms you can't use. For instance, Instagram does not reveal RTMP information, and that's why you can only go live on Instagram using the Instagram app. But for most platforms, they do provide that RTMP information. And when users are first trying to put it into Switcher Studio, a lot of times they get a little confused. They're trying to, copy it from on their Chrome or Safari app, and then they switch back into Switcher Studio and see that they're back to the home screen. They're not on the entrance anymore to put the RTMP information in. And what the cause of that is Switcher Studio always runs in the foreground. If it minimizes for any reason, whether it's a call, whether you're multitasking, it's going to take you back to the home screen. So what we recommend for the RTMP, and Dan's going to give you guys a walkthrough of this and more in just a second, is to log into your user dashboard at switcherstudio.com. The best way to do this is on a computer. You can make your RTMP channel right there in the user dashboard. And the good thing about being on a computer is you can copy your stream key, paste it into the dashboard, copy the URL, paste into the dashboard, and save. When you open your Switcher Studio app again, it's going to be right there ready to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's actually going on something that I feel like a lot of people who use Switcher Studio don't know is there, and that is our back-end dashboard on our website. So I'm going to switch over. I've actually got screen sharing going on my computer here, so let me get rid of this lower third, these lower overlays, and I'll come over here to the Switcher Studio dashboard. So I think it's just right up here in the corner. It just says log in on our website, and you'll use your same Switcher Studio credentials. And from here, there's a lot of things to do. The big thing that Angela mentioned was the custom RMTP here. So if I just click on that, you can come in here and you can add new channels if you wanted to, or you can adjust ones that you already have. So here, for example, we scheduled this broadcast that you're watching now, and that's this one right here. So if I come in, and you'll see I've got the name, and then here's the server URL, and there's that stream key that we have to bring over. And of course, typing that in digit by digit, it's going to take a long time, and you could make some mistakes, so copying it's a much better way. You can even do a speed test here if you're on the same network to make sure you have the right resolution and everything, and you're going to get the best results, and you'll just save channel. And from there, if you back in the Switcher Studio interface, you'll just go to the outputs, and you'll see custom RTMP, and if you tap on the blue arrow next to it, it's going to show up automatically in Switcher. But while we're here in the dashboard, I'll just show you some other things that you can do, such as you can link your account. So I've got YouTube and Facebook connected, but instead of doing that in the app, you could do it here. We also have a segment that shows you the videos that you've done recently. So all of those are right here for me, and it's just a nice place to curate all of those. Downloads for the app, and then SwitcherCast for Mac and Windows. And as well as up here is our support section. So our help center is our knowledge base. Any question we get asked in Switcher we're gonna write an article about and put it there. Our informational blog, if you like our live video strategy section, we have a lot of articles covering stuff like that. And then video tutorials, if you need help doing anything with Switcher Studio, almost everything is going to be right there. And then, of course, there's a quick button right there to contact support if you need help. And it's probably going to be Angela or I answering your emails.
Yeah.
And then also right here I'll show is join the community. That's the community Angela was talking about. There's just a button right there to join the Switcher Studio enthusiasts. Other than that, real quick, I can just show you have your account info, so you can come in here and update your password if you want to, and also enter your billing info if you want to switch from maybe doing a monthly subscription to the yearly subscription. Which, if you do the yearly subscription, you do get some cool stuff down here, like member discounts for, I believe there's things like iOgrapher and Archon mounts are a couple.
Switchboard Live.
Switchboard Live is one. So yeah, we got a couple other good things down there as well. That's just a quick run through of the dashboard. I always like to show that to people because everyone thinks it's just the app and that's what you're getting. But there's a lot more than just the app when it comes to Switcher Studio. That's why when people ask like, oh, what do you do? What's Switcher Studio? I don't like to start with it's an app. I like to start with it's a video creation platform because there's a lot more that goes into it than just what you see on the iPad. Angela, I'm going to let you take over for a little bit. I've got a couple good questions coming through here I want to read and make sure we can answer a couple of those as well.
Well, we'll go ahead, since we're talking about, the user group and things that you can make with Switcher Studio, whether it's, starting with the dashboard, starting with the app, and then combining those together. We're going to get into our hashtag Made with Switcher section. So we love seeing what you guys create with Switcher Studio or in relation to Switcher Studio. The easiest way to show us what you guys have done is to share it in the user group. But if you're going to be sharing your videos on another platform like Twitter or Instagram, make sure to use the hashtag Made with Switcher. We do look through that tag. We do love seeing what you guys have done. And we usually showcase one video a week just that we have enjoyed from seeing the Made with Switcher tag or the user group. This week we've got kind of a 2-for-1. I've got one thing to share and then Dan's got one thing to share. So you guys are...
Angela's got our main video, and I just got something cool that came through the user group I thought would be helpful for everybody.
Definitely. So the video that we have is from the Facebook page, The King Arthur. So these are the guys who are responsible for the Glastonbury Glow Room. We have been talking with them for several months, helping them set up, and they're finally set up and very excited about what they've been able to create. This is one of their first broadcasts that they've done. This is going to be a weekly show, so they are constantly putting out content, but they've done a great job. So this clip that we've got up right now, this is from about a week ago, I think around 5 or 6 days ago. They had special guest Steve Henderson on, who's a musician, and what they did was they had a stage over to the side, like a section of the side of the stage, where they could interview him from time to time throughout his time on the broadcast, and then he could get up and perform with his band on the other side of the stage. So it was a great 2-for-1. It was great where you didn't have to just watch the interview and then watch the broadcast. You got a really nice mix of everything, and especially allowed Steve to be able to stop and talk about some of the songs that he had just performed, so we're definitely glad to see that these guys have really taken off and gotten their shows off the ground. Again, check out the King Arthur. They're going to be doing all kinds of great content, and since we've been in contact with them, they are planning on bringing more of these glow rooms to more places than just Glastonbury, so I'm expecting to see a ton of great content from them soon.
Yeah, I just shared the link in there for anyone who wants to check out their page and watch the video that we just saw, maybe actually hear the audio going along with the video. One other really cool thing, and this came from, you're going to have to help me remember the name of who
Douglas
it was.
Carr.
Douglas Carr,
Yeah.
Thank you. This is just a good example of what you get out of joining the user group, and he put together a really good article talking about stage lighting and three-point lighting and how to get the most out of whatever you have available to you. So I'm going to just go ahead and share that to you all as well. So this was from it kind of is made with Switcher. It's made by someone who uses Switcher, and he talks about how he uses Switcher and the three-point lighting in the article. Really cool stuff. Definitely recommend checking that out. Really good information there.
Yeah, definitely. And again, as Dan just mentioned, make sure whether you're just hearing about Switcher Studio for the first time and thinking about checking it out, whether you're on a trial or whether you're already a monthly or annual subscriber, definitely join the user group. Not only is it a great way to learn more about Switcher, but we have people posting things like, best lighting tips and audio tips and everything all the time. You also have the entire Switcher Studio staff in, so we are also there to help out with the questions that you guys post.
Yeah, and just to cover a couple questions I saw come through, I know one of them, here, let me get I had to just exit out of the stream, want to pull it up, so make sure I get all these comments here. I want to switch over and put up our questions, there are two over there. One of the questions I saw was someone asking how long you can stream for on Facebook, and it's 4 hours.
Yes.
Unless that's changed recently. It's about 4 hours. That's what we've done before. That's what we did at VidCon. That's why we broke it up kind of into two parts, is because of that 4-hour limit. Oh, Nick from the other room, thank you, Nick, says if you schedule it, it can be continuous. It can be as long as you want. Is that right? Hey, there you go. That's good. That's good news.
Brand new news.
Yeah. So that's what the RTMP stuff, doing it that way is how you do that. Another question I saw come through was talking about her audio sounding a lot better, and if we're doing something different. Yeah, before I was trying to get creative and fancy with using shotgun mics for everybody. I've kind of forgone that, and we've got a mixer set up to the side here, and we're wearing lav mics. So yeah, just trying to step it up a little bit. But I do think that those are a couple of the questions we had coming through here. Let me see if there's anything else. I see some other questions, like Brian was asking, possibly add multiple accounts to YouTube. I'm assuming you're talking about having more than one account linked at the one. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so whether you're on the dashboard or on the app, when you sign in to YouTube or Facebook, it has you actually pick the channel. So when you're signed into just your account. Now, from the app or from the dashboard, you can easily unlink your account. So if you do need to switch to another account, tap on the little plus sign just as you would to initially link up YouTube. When you click on YouTube this time, it's going to give you a big red button that says unlink account. Tap that and then repeat the process, but it'll let you sign in with the account you want. So you can only be signed into one YouTube account at a time, but it's very easy to unlink that account and then to sign into another account as well. Now, one other thing that we have seen come up from time to time, if you're someone who has a Google account and a YouTube account tied to the same email, it's going to come up and say tap on which account you want to use. Make sure to tap on your YouTube account. If you tap on your Google account, it's not going to work. It's either just not going to let you stream or it's going to give you an error. A lot of times if you do that, the easiest way to fix it is to go on the user dashboard and unlink from there. But make sure that it's your actual YouTube account that you're tapping on to make that connection.
Right. And then one more question we'll get to before I think we're going to have to wrap here is Robbie was asking, will you guys be adding a music library to Switcher Studio or a way to play music via an asset? Do you want to talk maybe a little bit about the ways we bring audio in now, or ways you could bring audio in now?
Yeah, so right now we don't have any plans for a music library, but there definitely is a way to bring in, you know, music, sounds, any kind of audio sources. So to kind of get into that really quick, your only audio source is through your main switcher. So whichever device is your main control, for instance, we've got our iPad on the table. That is your main audio source when you're using Switcher Studio. Now, there are ways to bring in other audio sources if you just need, for instance, one microphone that you're going to hold. You know, connect that up with something like an iRig Pre and you're all set. If you need multiple audio sources, whether it's the two lavs like Dan and I have, or you need to bring in audio from a computer or audio from an MP3 player for background music, anything like that, you'll need to just take, you know, an audio mixer. There's a lot of different mixers out there, so you can kind of play around with which one you want. There's not a specific one you have to use, but just make sure all of your audio sources, whether it's the computer, the MP3 player, the microphone, that they're being fed into the mixer. I think you might be able to see ours in the corner.
No, it's kind of off to the side.
It's off camera, but feed it into the mixer. After that, you'll run just a basic XLR cable into an adapter like an iRig Pre, and you'll plug that right in to your main switching device. And, you know, some people that probably make complete sense. If you're new at an audio setup, you might have a few questions. We do have a guide in our knowledge base called How to Use an Audio Mixer, and it'll walk you through that whole process step by step with photos. And also, feel free to reach out to us at support@switcherstudio.com. Again, you'll most likely be talking to me or Dan, and we'll be able to help you with that setup as well. So you will need a mixer, but it is easy to set up, and you can definitely get that background music.
Do a couple rapid fire quick questions here as well. Is it possible to transmit on Instagram with this app? No, it is not. Instagram is a closed platform, unfortunately, so what you should do is tweet at Instagram or however you can talk to those guys and let them know that you want to use Switcher Studio with Instagram, and hopefully we can get some sort of partnership or connection going with those guys.
Yeah, the more kind of buzz you guys generate, the quicker we can get something going.
Let me see, I saw a couple other ones. In the future, will we be able to have more than one stream going out at the same time? Restream.io or switchboard.live or Streamify, I think, is another one. Check out any one of those, and they will let you do kind of a simulcast type thing. We're a Facebook Live partner, so we can't do it directly within our app, but that is something that you can do with another third party.
Yeah, and that just ties into the RTMP we were talking about earlier that you'll need to use.
Yes, there's a couple other good questions that we can get to in the comments here, but I think we are just out of time for right now. So with that, thank you everybody for tuning in this week. It was a great show. We'll be here same time next week.
Yeah, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And again, if we didn't get to your comment, or if you're watching this later on and you still want to leave a comment, feel free to. We do answer those even after the show, so we will be able to see and respond to your comments.
All right, thank you everybody. Have a wonderful rest of the day and rest of the week. We'll see you here same time next week.
Yeah, see you guys.
Bye.